This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about our favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
First of all, I want to wish Kurt a happy birthday. But second of all, I'd like to point out that what we just went through kind of ties in with the title of this week's movie.
Yes.
Because we've tried to start this podcast 4 times. And
technical.
The Hallmark movie is
God.
Hearts Around the Table, Kiki's 4th ingredient. I don't know what that fourth. I don't know what one ingredients 1, 2, and 3 were either.
I don't know either.
Well, Kiki needed to infuse some personalities into this movie.
Oh, there were personalities. They were just a bunch of dicks.
You dick.
Oh,
Nice. That's what I want to hear on my
totally.
birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? So you just did one of our sounds.
Yeah.
So that ties into what I want to report, because before we came on air, I was sharing with you that someone affiliated with our podcast was arrested.
Oh,
and it's not Jason DeBray.
It's not Jason DeBray. It's not
good.
me. It's not Kurt Fitzpatrick. It's not Jason
Meredith.
Bowers.
is this someone
Not
that we
the porn-
talk
Oh,
about on the
absolutely
show
not
a lot?
Meredith.
Not the Pornhub math teacher.
This person appears on the show every week.
On our show?
Yes.
Oh,
Not me.
is it a person that you
No, it's
ask
not
a
you.
question about every week, Les?
Not Blac Chyna.
No, because I would cover that. June Squibb?
I'll just go ahead and tell you. No. Oh, absolutely not. I'll just tell you. Haley Joel Osment was arrested for public intoxication at a California ski resort.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Haley Joel Osment appears on this podcast every week.
Don't drink and ski.
Maybe
something
they just
elitist
thought he
about
was
that.
drunk because he keeps saying he sees dead people, and everyone's like, I don't see any dead people. What are you talking about?
Oh no. I'm looking at the mugshot up.
Jeez, Jason. I mean, Les.
He's
Should I take a look at this?
he's a little drunk.
Oh.
What?
Well, I want to take a look at this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look see what it looks like.
Google. Google. Google.
Just looking up. He doesn't look that bad. That's what he looks like. Haley Joel Osment arrested. Yeah, he doesn't look like a little kid anymore.
No, he looks like a
Born
bear.
in April.
Not a bear, not an animal bear, another kind of bear.
News. Let's see the news.
Haley Joel Osment offers big smile and mugshot
Where
after
is the-
recent
Let me.
arrest.
I'll look up the word mugshot because I'm not finding it when I look at the news.
All right. Well, this is interesting news.
Son,
I didn't know that. I see it. I was gonna say we had a
I kind
big.
of feel bad for him because
That's his mug. He looks fine in that mugshot. He looks
That's what I
happy.
said.
his eyes look a little
Drinking, he's skiing.
beady.
That's what he looks like now, though. Like he's a kind of a character actor now, and that's what he looks like on film.
Well, I kind of
see
felt bad.
drinking
I
and skiing.
actually felt bad for him though.
Yeah.
Because I was reading, and the article said that he lost everything in the fire, in the Altadena fire.
Oh.
And then I guess insurance, and then his insurance is trying to screw him over. So I was like, that's sad.
Oh, see, he's not drunk. He was booked for possession of a controlled substance. And they said that they haven't identified it. So he's either on weed or like a pill or something, because he looks way too happy to be drunk.
Well, weed is, I thought it was legal.
Yeah, but
you're
it's
supposed to be happy when you're drunk.
I think weed is legal, but you can't be intoxicated on it.
Well, they said
publicly.
he just had it on him. I don't know.
Well, he's booked on, what's it say, possession, public intoxication, possession of a controlled substance. So he might be stoned, but also holding something else.
Okay. Well,
right. A little something.
Yeah.
I had a couple. It has been a big week in entertainment. Gail King went to the moon with Katy Perry.
Yeah.
And Judd Nelson came back to Earth.
What do you mean he came back down to Earth?
They had a Breakfast Club
was he?
reunion. They had a Breakfast Club reunion at some kind of autograph kind of convention, something in Chicago. This just happened.
Right.
And the big deal of it was that they've had these before, but Emilio Estevez would never take part. And this time he actually did. So this was the first time they were all together.
What's that have to do with Judd Nelson coming down to Earth?
Well, because I hadn't heard from him in a while. And so he resurfaced with this news of the Breakfast Club.
Oh, so he was reporting to the world that Emilio showed up.
Well, no, I'm reporting.
I'm confused as to why the story is about Emilio, but you were making it about Judd. I'm confused by that.
I just worded it that way.
Okay.
The real news was that Emilio has embraced being part of the Breakfast Club. So now all five of there's a whole Q&A they do.
He probably just broke out of that detention center where they were locked up.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But
unpopular opinion, I think The Breakfast Club is a terrible fucking movie.
Oh, what do you think of that, Les? Are we going to tolerate that?
I think people like it because of nostalgia. It is not good, though.
Ooh.
Well, the first time I saw it, I was like 17.
Right. and you associate it with that time in your life.
I was a kid.
And you're like,
too,
hey,
man.
I'm a teenager like them. I get that. I totally understand that. I understand why people would like it. I'm just saying that doesn't make it good. That doesn't make the plot make any sense.
Oh, come on.
So you think that even in the 80s, if a principal were to literally lock students in the room, like they can't physically leave the room, but they're left unsupervised.
That's child abuse.
That's child abuse. You think that if those kids actually broke out of the library, that they would then break back in? You think that those kids would actually become friends with each other throughout the course of the day? None of that happens.
Well,
but
I have, you know, things were different back then.
They weren't so different that you could literally lock children in a room if you're their principal. Maybe their parents might do that, but not the principal.
I had a principal, Sister Assumpta. She had a board, a paddle, and she called it the Board of Education, and she would smack kids with it was a boat paddle.
That's a Catholic school. That's different than a public school.
The board.
Your parents are paying for that abuse.
That's what she called it. Yeah.
The Board of Education. Because she's like, I'm going to educate your ass.
No, she was getting away with that. My brother was more. I did see that, but I don't ever saw her hit anybody. My brother is 6 years older than me. He did see her hit her. So that would have been more like the late 70s. She was
the Board of
walking
Education.
Walking around with that board. I don't know, man. I think people could be friends. Hilarious. I could take another look at it and see.
So okay? So my final point about them: if they broke out of the library, then they break back in.
I don't remember that, but it kind of makes sense because they don't want to get in trouble.
What?
They want to act like they never left. They wanted to appear as if they never left, but I don't remember that. So
yeah, they actually got out, and then they go back in. And then there's like a dance party for no reason.
Well,
I'm kind of torn because I'm leaning more towards agreeing with Jason, but there was a makeover in this movie.
I'm not saying that there aren't things that people can like about it. I'm just saying I think it's poorly written. It's not a good, it doesn't make sense. The movie makes no sense. That doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. Doesn't mean that people don't like it. Doesn't mean people shouldn't like it. But it can exist and be well liked, but be bad.
See, if it was 16 Candles we were talking about, or Pretty in Pink, we'd have a fight.
I love 16 Candles. There's a lot that's real bad about that movie.
Oh, there's a lot that's real bad about it.
Yeah.
A lot.
But I love it.
Well, what do you mean? There's stuff that doesn't hold up in today's time, or there's
in any time. Long Duck Dong was an offensive stereotype even then.
Les, he doesn't like it.
No, I love 16 Candles. It's still bad.
And there was something else that was wait,
the thing with the panties.
Yeah, there was something else that was bad.
The panties.
Yeah.
Oh, and something else.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd have to take my memories.
The grandma feeling her granddaughter up.
Oh no.
Sammy Davis Baker Jr.
Man, I don't know. I have to take a look at The Breakfast Club, but yes, I did. That movie came out before I was in high school, so I saw it before that. I will concede that it's unusual that they were kind of in relationships. Like Emilio Estevez's characters was with Ali Sheedy at the end of the movie, and the Judd Nelson and Molly Ringwald. That didn't really. There wasn't enough to lead to that.
Right. That actually is something that we see in Hallmark movies all the time. Relationships that feel unearned at the end of it. And there's a big one in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Do you want me to follow up on this thing? We were talking about getting Natalia Grace on the show, and
yes,
Jason vetoed it.
I didn't veto it. I gave a caveat.
Yeah, what was the concession?
That you get the Pornhub math guy on with her. It's going to be Natalia Grace, Pornhub math guy, and there was somebody else.
There was somebody else, yeah. Could it just be those two?
Sure.
Would you concede to that?
Yeah, but the trifecta was what made it extra special.
I know, but I can't remember who it was. It was somebody that was gettable, though. I think we got it recorded. We go back and listen.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we're at. So I contacted. Is it okay if I read someone's text on our show? Or is that this is a lawyer? I'm not. This is a lawyer.
I would say.
Why didn't you summarize it?
Can I paraphrase?
And don't give the actual name of the person.
All right. Well, there's an identifying factor. Let me just. I'll just try to leave.
Okay. Okay.
Because I wrote to this individual. I said, "Hello, my name is Kurt Fitzpatrick, and I co-host a pop culture centered podcast called A Lifetime of Hallmark. We've been discussing the Hulu series, and we would love to have Miss Natalia Grace on as a guest if she's interested. Our show is respectful and inclusive, and primarily a lighthearted comedy show." And I said, "Would you be able to provide me with an email address for her, or pass this along to her so we could further discuss it? Thank you for your time." So that's good, right?
Yeah.
I represent the show well.
Okay.
Yes.
So weeks later, and I wrote that on April 4th, and just heard back from this person.
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just heard back from this person. Okay, so basically they say, "Thank you for your interest." They are saying they don't have anything to do with the Hulu series, don't have any contact information for Miss Grace, but you may want to contact, and then they have a couple people's names. And then they go into a little more detail about who they are. So this person is very close to this situation.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say. Of course, I think I already said it was a lawyer. So.
Well, but they also say that they don't work with her. So
yes, so I'm not going to say who this was. I believe I did say a little bit, but I didn't say exactly. But they are very, very close. But they're also I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
But they suggested who I could contact.
That's actually very helpful of them to point you in the right direction.
And I'm interested still.
I'm now interested only because it would be so fucking ridiculous if this were gettable. Like, if Natalia Grace is like, yeah, I'll do that dumb podcast that talks about Lifetime and Hallmark movies.
Well, we got this far.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get a little further.
Well, put the feelers out to Pornhub Math Guy, and I'll wind back the tape, and we'll figure out who was the third.
Oh, come on! Are you gonna give us a break on that? You're gonna hold?
I know,
steady on
but
that?
if it would be a funny trifecta, like, you know, we're doing the Graham Norton show, and you just have these like 3 random guests all together. I think that's fun.
It's fun, but you're making it impossible.
Then we'll have them watch a Hallmark movie because it's something kind of light.
I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if these people are gonna watch. You're making this is. I mean, it's not impossible, but you're making it more and more difficult.
Hey.
Well, they could talk about themselves.
Jason Dupré makes you watch like all of the Twilight movies before he does an episode of the podcast.
Right.
It's an exaggeration.
He made you watch all of Martin Scorsese's movies that are over 3 hours long.
Well, I like.
You didn't deny that. See.
Silence. I really like though.
Yeah.
Jason Dupré and I are the only people who've ever seen
My
it.
point being is just it's
So good.
it's a barrier to entry to be on that show, and that's fine. We have a barrier to entry that you have to watch a Lifetime or a Hallmark movie.
Barrier of entry. Yeah, but you're making my job difficult. I'm trying to book a guest, and you said I got to put on the Pornhub math teacher and someone else, Wendy Williams or somebody.
I would love it if we could get Wendy Williams.
Wendy would be good.
Well, that would have to be separate, and that I think.
But
we would all agree that she
imagine
could
the
come on
questions Wendy would have for Natalia.
Yes.
And Wendy's going to be more unfiltered than we can be because she's a guest.
Yes. And remember, I'm a fan of Wendy. I'm a Wendy watcher.
How are we gonna get these? How am I gonna pitch this?
And then Wendy can talk about the things going on in her life right now too.
Yeah. And we could have the
Wendy
Pornhub
needs
math
help
guy
herself-
explain the
herself.
tariffs.
Right.
Yeah, he can translate it.
Yeah.
And then Wendy can
Maybe the
ask the
translator.
Pornhub math guy questions.
But guys, I'm serious. I think I could make this happen and get this to Natalia Grace. But you're throwing in all these wrenches in the system.
I support you with whatever you do because if we could get Natalia Grace, I would love to have her on this show.
All right.
Be very nice to her.
I will cave on some of those caveats, but not all of them. Like, there's negotiating wiggle room here. Like, maybe she doesn't have to watch the movie, but then we have to have Pornhub Math Guide too. Or maybe, like, no, she's watching the movie at the very
never
least.
know. She might watch Hallmark anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why wouldn't she?
Okay. I think
She's their demographic, actually.
Yeah.
their demographic or dwarves who people think are older.
She's a female. They're going after women.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very general.
And like age wise, she's in the zone with either the real age or the perceived age.
Not according to those first parents, huh? Well, okay, good. We will further discuss this. I think we're in a good place. We're a step closer to Natalia Grace. We're a step closer to our own negotiations.
Yeah,
right.
But there's someone else that you need to put out feelers to get on as well, Kurt. Right, Les?
Yes, Kurt. Do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Well, I just lost my little article. Hold on.
Bum.
Oh, I got it. Okay. So it's been kind of slow for Blac Chyna. So how about we check in on her mother?
Oh, Tokio Toni.
Ooh, we're gonna check in on Tokio Toni this week. Well, this was published just 10 hours ago. This article by Caroline Fisher for hotnewhiphop.com. Mm-hmm. Tokio Toni has been caught on camera fighting with her former roommate over allegedly stolen goods.
Oh.
So Tokio Toni is certainly no stranger to stirring things up online, but recently her drama spilled over into real life. Roughly 6 weeks ago, the personality invited a woman claiming to be a fan to live with her at her home in the Washington, D.C. area. Tokio claims she was under the impression that the woman was a struggling music producer and that she agreed to make her beats in exchange for a place to stay. Unfortunately, however, the situation quickly took a turn for the worse. Earlier this week, Tokio took to social media to reveal that she allegedly caught the woman in a web of lies. As a result, she kicked her out of the house, but the woman didn't leave before allegedly trashing the place. Tokio alleges that upon returning to her home, she also discovered that $98,000 worth of her belongings were missing. Oh. When she confronted the woman about the ordeal, the encounter got physical, and the two of them trading punches in what appeared to be a parking lot. I took this girl in, not as a roommate, not as helping her or anything. She was supposed to make me beats. Tokio explained to her followers. No friends, I'm helping. Wasn't supposed to. No beats. 6 weeks. Go to jail. As for the woman's version of events, she claims that she rejected alleged sexual advances coming from Tokio, which Tokio denies. Her ex-roommate isn't the only person who's been at odds. She's been in odds with for the recent months, though. Back in February, Tokio also went after Glorilla for celebrating after Beyonce won Album of the Year of the Grammys. She didn't hold back either, dissing Glow's appearance and accusing her of clout chasing. This prompted a simple response from the rapper. Somebody call animal control, she wrote in the Shade Room's comment section. That's a little offensive.
This story is wild. Like,
imagine you're Blac Chyna. This is your mom. Like, oh my God, what is going on now?
What is going on with Tokio Toni that she really wants to record so badly that she believes this charlatan, allegedly. So she's like, yeah, you can live with me. Like, if that story is true, that's kind of sad.
Well, since
that she falls for that.
I didn't know she has any songs.
Well, I think she's trying to make some sort of name for herself in the public eye. That's kind of always been the dynamic with her.
She wanted beats. All right. There you go. There's a beat.
Tokio Toni. That's somebody go animal control.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You know what? Given the kind of lame pop song that started this movie, I'd be open to hearing what Tokio Toni has to lay down.
Right. Oh, Kurt, didn't you cook something?
Oh, yeah. Tell us about your tater tot casserole.
Yeah, this is from, we recently watched a movie called My Husband's Seven Wives.
Yes.
And in it, they presented a Tokio Toni casserole. No, a tater tot casserole. And I did make it. I found there's actually different recipes online for it, but I mean, it was a very basic recipe where I did like a ground turkey, and then it's covered with like cream of onion soup and cheese and tater tots. It was okay.
Ooh, what kind of cheese? Like cheddar?
It was a combination of like Mexican cheese mix and mozzarella. I did.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, like that cheese blend that they have at Trader Joe's?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It was pretty good.
Is this what, it's big in like I think that like the 90s and 2000s, there's this woman that makes these, she's a cookbook called like dump meals or basically it's just stuff you can just dump in a pot and let it cook, and you can dump things in a pan and like make a cake, and it all has the word dump in it.
Yeah, dump cake. I've heard that.
Ew.
This was a little more advanced than that because you had to cook the meat on the stove first, and then
But then you dump it in.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do.
This movie was dump egg.
But I got
such a fun title too.
But my brain got wired into the facts of life. Anytime I saw this Mindy Cohn, I just couldn't. You talk about typecasting. I couldn't stop. My entire brain was just electrified by Mrs. Garrett and Joe Polachek and everybody. It was an invasion into my head.
And now the thing is,
I couldn't walk away.
I actually liked Mindy Cohn. Mindy Cohn was actually the only person who I liked in this movie.
Yeah, same. I liked her in this. I also liked her in what was that Apple show she was on last year?
Palm Royale.
Palm Royale.
Palm
yeah.
Royale.
She was in that?
Yeah, she's got a big part in that.
It's coming back for another season.
Yeah. But this was so
I
this
have a friend who
Hallmark
actually-
movie. I was telling Les and Kurt beforehand because they were a little confused by there's a lot of characters to keep track of here, and that's because this is part of a series of movies. So that's why it's Hearts Are on the Table: Kiki's fourth ingredient. This is the fourth movie.
Oh, God. Well, I'd rather not watch the other three.
And it's similar to how Hallmark did those wedding veil movies, where like each couple gets their own movie, and then they intermingle a little bit at the end.
Well, this wasn't as good as those.
Those weren't good.
Well,
those were terrible.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this was not as good as those. This was worse than that.
I would argue that we might have enjoyed this a little bit more if we understood a little bit more about the other characters too.
Yeah, maybe.
Which would require watching the other movies, which I would not want to do.
No, I don't. That's okay.
Kiki was like annoying. Her boyfriend was snoozy. He was very snoozy.
Yeah, he was. He had pretty eyes, but that's kind of all he had going for him. Like he sounded like I don't know if it's the actor or just this guy's delivery. He sounded like he just didn't want to be there.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, even his pretty eyes didn't help him.
But Kiki was not making it easy either.
Yeah, she was putting him to sleep.
She was defensive about everyone.
Yeah, I don't know what her problem was half the time.
She had a bad attitude. That was her problem.
I mean, she grew up in foster care, so I kind of get it a little bit, but still.
Well,
girl,
but that was a nice situation.
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's constantly looking
Mindy
over his
Cohn.
shoulder.
Yeah.
That was a big house, though.
Yeah.
But Mindy Cohn was her den mother, foster mother. Yeah.
I did because the Mindy Cohn being this woman that fosters all these children, which is a big plot point in this movie and all these movies, it did kind of make me think like, oh, she could be Mrs. Garrett now.
Right.
Girls.
She's actually older than Edna Garrett was on The Facts of Life.
Oh, really?
Girls. Tootie, stop it.
Is that your Mrs. Garrett impression?
Yes. Arnold, come back here.
Who's Arnold?
On Different
From
Strokes.
Different Strokes.
Oh.
She was their housekeeper.
Mrs. Garrett was on Different Strokes
Okay, but
before she was on Facts of Life.
I know, but it was locked in my head, the context of her being the Facts of Life. You just start switching over
Different
to
Strokes was first.
Yes.
All right.
She got a spin. This was her spinoff.
I know.
Kurt.
I lost place.
Oh my goodness.
Me? Who? Kurt. Am I on the show?
Anyway.
Oh.
So we see a city, and I just wrote it looks like Vancouver because it probably was Vancouver.
I think it was.
I don't think they ever said what city it was. I didn't know what city it was supposed to be. I heard a lot of boots in this movie. They weren't even trying to hide the accent.
Vancouver. I can't see it. Vancouver? Question mark?
Vancouver. So we see a farmer's market. And we see Kiki bring the woman who works at the farmer's market a bunch of chocolate zucchini muffins that sound disgusting.
What the fuck? I was already
really?
mad.
Really?
I like vegetables, and that sounded gross.
You've never had that, Jason?
No, why would I?
You know Jason Bauer's better than that. He would not eat zucchini.
Like zucchini bread?
I don't like vegetables in anything, certainly not desserts. First of all, second of all, I think I've also mentioned on the show, I don't like chocolate cake. So you're putting vegetables in chocolate cake and that's supposed to be appealing to me? Fuck you, Hallmark. How dare you?
No, I would eat zucchini bread.
Of course, it's very good.
But not chocolate zucchini muffins. Though.
Kiki, if you want to be defensive about something, be defensive about those fucking muffins.
Wow, you really...
The world does not need it. There were plenty of cakes and cookies and pies in that farmer's market. They had like nice close-ups of the cookies. Then they showed vegetables, which gross, but at least they're separated from the cookies. But now you're combining stuff? No.
Pace yourself. Pace yourself.
But Kiki didn't have time because she had a wedding to cater.
Did she, though? She didn't seem that concerned about it at first.
It was like an overwhelming thing she had to do. She had a little food truck, and she was catering at a 100-person wedding.
It wasn't overwhelming until everyone started pointing out to her how in over her head she was with this thing. It was kind of rude, actually, because like she volunteers to cater her foster sister's wedding. And it's just casually mentioned, and then everyone's like, God, how are you going to do that? Like, no, like, everybody doubted her ability to do it. Like, and the wedding's a week away. Why has nobody spoken up before now?
Right. And so she's leaving, and she bumps into a guy, and it's Clay. And she apologizes, walks away, and then he walks up to the counter and asks for 1 dozen of what smells so good, and it was those muffins.
Ugh. Smells like ass.
So then we see Jenna trying on dresses, who is Kiki's foster sister.
Yeah.
And then we have the other sister, Sherry, who actually is Amanda from The Young and the Restless.
Oh.
And so we find out that Jenna has been with her fiance since high school. And
I don't think so.
They shame Kiki.
I get the impression from, because later in the movie, they show a montage of a bunch of scenes that weren't in this movie that I'm guessing are from the other movies in this series. I have a feeling that they know each other from high school, but then were apart for many years and came back together.
Oh. Got it. Okay.
As one is wont to do in a Hallmark movie.
And then Kiki got date shamed because she didn't have a date and they shamed her.
Right. In fact,
like, we left you.
Yeah, they're saving her a seat. They opened up a seat because I think she should have a date.
Yeah. And then Kiki's like, but I'm catering the wedding. And then Sherry was like, Kiki, are you okay with catering the wedding? Are you sure you can handle it? Once again.
Yeah. Because they all tasted those fucking muffins. They're like, what the fuck are we going to be eating at this thing?
Hope it's not this.
So then Kiki gets called. And her salmon delivery is messed up. There's no salmon.
How is that possible?
In Vancouver.
Yeah, like they were on the water. They showed like scenes of water. I'm like, there's no salmon at all? Really?
Just she gets a fishing rod.
Right.
I prefer not eating fish.
I mean, same, but
so then we're at the groom's lunch.
You mean real fish?
That's not what I meant.
Man, you have to read between the lines in the show.
Yeah. There will be a few in the audience that are laughing right now.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So we're at the groom's lunch, and one of the grooms is trying to snoop so that he could tell, their foster brother, is trying to snoop.
Yeah, one of the guys was a foster brother to the girls.
Which one?
I think his name was Josh.
Oh, yeah. Josh, yeah. Yeah, he was a bore.
I mean, all these guys
and he was trying to snoop.
These guys were all very pretty, but they would all be boring in bed.
Yes.
Except maybe Evan.
They would just lay there.
Except maybe
Which
Evan.
one?
Evan.
Which one was he?
He's the black
Sherry's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
He actually had some personality. He was cute.
Oh, so then Clay shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And Clay, we find out, is an executive chef and owner of a restaurant. And then, of course, they're thinking about planning a bachelor party, which is a Hallmark movie. So how fun can a Hallmark bachelor party be?
I'll tell you how fun. One in which the groom is involved in the planning of it.
Right.
Okay, that's not supposed to happen.
The friends are supposed to plan it for you.
Right.
So they're not going to Jumbo's Clown Room.
No. They're having it
What's
at
that?
Clay's restaurant. Jumbo's Clown Room?
Oh. It's
don't know
a
what that
strip
is.
joint in L.A. It's called Jumbo's Clown Room.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't know what that is.
Jumbo's.
Clown room. I went to a bachelor party recently, but it was just like a dinner.
And did you go to see strippers after?
No,
Or during?
no,
Yeah, did strippers show up for dinner?
no.
They should have had the bachelor party at one of those strip clubs where you can get like a steak buffet.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. That would have been great.
Yeah, it's got things have gotten downscaled over the years, I guess.
So the sisters are talking about a party as well, and then they get a phone call from Angie, Mindy Cohn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did you know that Mindy Cohn and Angelina Jolie are such good friends that Mindy Cohn is the godmother to a couple of Angelina Jolie's children?
I think I know that because you've mentioned it on this podcast before.
I knew in my heart. And when Mindy Cohn first appears in this movie, she's just on the phone. And I was thinking, is that all she's going to do? Did she record her role on the phone?
I was a little worried about that too.
Like,
You know,
she was gonna be like, Tootie, I'm on the phone, Tootie. So then Jenna shows her dress, and they all go like goo goo ga 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 and like freak out over the dress.
and she's tall. She's kind of hovering over everybody. Maybe she's wearing heels or something. Or she's standing on a stool sample, like a stool.
So then she gets sad. She wishes her mom was there, which, she grew up in foster care. So that,
because we learned her mom is dead.
I see dead people.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, sorry, Haley Joel.
His mom's not dead. Okay,
Don't
that I
drink
know
it.
of.
No, but he's in jail.
Yeah. We don't think it's
No,
drinking.
but he's in jail.
You know what Jason would love to do, considering skiing? Jason, would you ever want to do that cross-country skiing where you just like trampling around in the snow?
No, I don't like snow really.
I don't think so.
Regular skiing, I did it once when I was 19, and I was like, it's fine. I'm not opposed to skiing. It's just a really, really, really expensive sport to just do even slightly recreationally, that every time I'm asked to do it, I'm like, if I'm going to spend that much money, I'd rather do it on something I want to do.
True. Oh, so they tell Angie that she's their mother as well, because Angie did raise them. Mm-hmm. So then Kiki still can't find salmon.
Yeah.
And Kiki's like, I have to get salmon. It's Jenna's favorite.
Well,
So
the second favorite.
So then they're back at the house, and Jenna talks to Angie, and she asks Angie to walk her down the aisle, which I was like, oh, and I did get a little bit at that.
I did too.
And then she was telling Angie, I didn't expect to miss my mom so much. And then Angie brought out a necklace and some earrings, and she told her that was from her mother, and that when she showed up at the house, that was with her.
Okay.
And there was a picture also. And so it was a picture of her mom with like a cute 80s, 70s looking guy.
Did you?
And yeah, we find out that's her father.
I was kind of curious because Angie seemed to genuinely like all these kids, now adults. She seemed to genuinely like taking them into her home. Why do we think she didn't end up adopting any of them?
I don't know.
Yeah, that thought was just starting to enter my mind. So she didn't adopt them. She just had them as foster kids.
But it seems like some of them for several years.
Yeah. No, it sounds like they were all little kids when they showed up.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't know.
So then we see Kiki, and she's carrying pizza boxes. And then Clay comes and helps her. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's you from the market. And he has a bag of takeout. And she's like, oh my God, that takeout's from 7 Basil. That's like the hottest restaurant in town. And then Clay was like, I own the place.
Ooh.
Then Kiki introduces herself and then she tells him that she's going to make the dinner. And then she tells everybody who will listen that she's a food truck chef. Like everybody.
Yeah, and he innocuously says something to her about the fact that she's catering a wedding, kind of like asking, are you up to the task? It wasn't shaming her, but she immediately got defensive.
Yes.
She got very mad, like, for no reason. Well, he offers to mentor her, which she should say yes, I think.
I think there is a fine line there where it's like she already has a business making food.
Right.
Why is the assumption that she would need a mentor? I get that.
Well,
but she also went
help.
from 0 to 60 about being offended by it.
Yes.
Right.
I didn't understand why she was so upset.
But then he's talking to Angie. Angie likes him. And then Kiki later is like bad mouthing him to Sherry, and she's bad mouthing his takeout, and Sherry's like, well, the takeout was good.
Yeah, she's the voice of reason. She's like, ease up on this guy.
Yeah.
Right. And then Sherry was like, well, come on, it's your first time catering for 100 people. That's why we're asking you. But then Kiki gets offended at that as well. And then Sherry's like, well, you know what? Don't be afraid to ask for help. And
right.
Then Sherry's also like, you should go for Clay. So then, of course, it's a Hallmark movie. So the guy was like, I don't want a bachelor party. He's telling that to Jenna.
Yeah.
And then his mom calls, and his mom's like an old bitch. And she's talking about how she invited her friend, like someone couldn't make it to the wedding, so she invited her random friend. And he's like, well, I don't want your random friend there. I don't know her. Why is she coming to my wedding?
This beat didn't really pay off in the movie because we never see this mom again. We never find out who this friend was. Like they don't use this mom. It just seemed to fill time.
I think because they wanted someone to come in and throw shade and leave. Because her mom came through. Because she said because remember, she's like, well, we've got to talk about the mother-son dance. And she's like, well, since Jenna doesn't have a mother.
True. Okay.
What are her family traditions?
That's fair. Okay. That it does serve her purpose. You're right.
Because that's why Jenna got upset.
The way she said it, I don't know. Was it really bad what she said? I guess it was a sensitive thing.
And she was on speakerphone.
It is something you would have to address, before the wedding.
Yeah, but you don't do it in front of her.
You don't do it a week before the wedding. Like a lot of these conversations they were having about the catering and all that, like this should have been figured out fucking months ago.
Right.
You're responsible. I guess it also isn't any of her business. She doesn't have to be addressing this.
Right. And then Andrew's like, by the way, oh my God, this movie it made me yawn. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Fatigue.
He's like, this is Jenna's day. And remember that.
I did write that Andrew did something that all men should do in this situation when their mom is stepping in and trying to make suggestions about the wedding. Like he actually stood up for Jenna.
Nice.
Right.
Like he didn't back down because his mom was like steamrolling him. He was like, hey, this is her day. You calm yourself.
He's right.
Right. So then he calls Angie and tells Angie what's going on. And Angie's like, you know what? I'll make some calls. So then we see Kiki at the market stealing strawberries.
Oh, before we get to that,
Stealing.
can we talk about the promo? The promo that they showed several times throughout this movie for a series, apparently, that's on Hallmark called The Chicken
Connie
Sisters. No, not
yeah, the Chicken Sisters.
What the hell
With
is
Leah
that?
Thompson. With
What?
Leah Thompson.
And Wendy
Really?
Malick?
Yes.
Wendy Malick's
Wendy
on
Malick.
Shrinking with Harrison Ford. What's she doing on Hallmark in this show called The Chicken Sisters?
The Chicken Sisters?
Because
What are
Wendy
they
Malick's
doing?
like, I will take an extra check.
Is that? Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, people aren't making
But-
as much money as they used
But
to.
Wendy
on,
Malick
TV.
is doing like a bad Southern accent.
What else was she on? Was she on?
Wendy
J-
Malick
Shoot
is
Me?
like, if Parker Posey can do it, I can do it too.
I would love to see Wendy Malick on White Lotus. She'd be great on there.
Me too.
Was Wendy Malick in Just Shoot Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She was on that. She was in Dream On. She was on
Dream On,
Hot in
yeah, that's
Cleveland. She
Oh,
was
she's
in
been
that
around for a long
Lifetime movie about the. She was in some Lifetime movie where she played a crazy grandma.
I said I'm forgiving of Parker Posey's accent because that show is so well done. It's like, all right,
Oh, yeah.
I'm buying in.
I also buy it because her accent was much stronger the more pills she was on in the show.
Okay,
And she is she really is from the South.
Yeah.
I've only seen one episode
She's
so
from
far.
Mississippi.
So far, it's good.
Yeah, Parker Posey's from Mississippi.
Yeah, it's not bad. Her accent.
So, but yeah, Kiki was
But,
stealing
yeah.
strawberries. She was just
Yeah.
standing there eating strawberries in the middle of the store.
Yeah.
Stealing?
But then I remembered
She didn't
when
pay
I
for
was a
'em?
little kid, my mom used to like give me grapes.
Mm-hmm. People
like
still
when
do
we were
that.
in the store.
I'll crack open a six pack as I'm walking down the aisle.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'll take a
Imagine.
bite out of a cake that's like behind the glass. I like
Yeah.
wedge my head back there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I bite it, and they're often surprised. I said, "Why don't you just lick it? We wouldn't even know that
What?
that you did it." I was
That's,
like,
I mean,
"Dude,
Ariana Grande got in trouble for doing that. She licked that donut.
Yes.
did she lick a donut in
Yeah.
the store?"
Yeah.
Yes, she did. It was on camera.
Well, I'm not a big donut fan. It just fills me up too much in the morning. I was thinking about that this week.
Really?
Donut.
I thought
love
you would
donut.
chow down on donuts.
I
in the
I
love
morning.
like donut, but
donuts.
it's the timing of it that's the problem because
Sure.
you generally eat a donut in the morning, and I don't want to like eat like too much heavy
I
stuff.
will
in the
also
morning.
say it depends on the donut because some are like a good glazed donut isn't real heavy. It's pretty light and fluffy if it's made right.
Right.
But sometimes like
donut.
it's just too much dough and it's heavy and it's just doused in grease and doused in sugar. It's too
And
much.
you like that?
No, I don't
Too
like
much
it.
sugar.
But Kurt,
Too much.
would you eat cake in the morning?
That's a birthday thing. I should have done that today.
Well, the day's not over yet. Are you gonna have cake? Have
I
you?
did have cake.
You're gonna have cake.
Oh, good.
Those donuts, like if you go to like the Jersey Shore, and I hate to say that because I know Les only associates that with the TV show, but they've got like bakeries in Jersey Shore where they've got some donuts and sticky buns and stuff.
So then you GTL and then
That stuff is good.
you GTLD,
I'm like
gym tan
Pauly.
laundry and donuts.
I'm like the Pauly D of sticky buns.
Is the D? Does the D stand for donut?
Is sticky
Oh,
bun
Poly D.
is sticky
Oh.
bun a regional term, or is that something that
I
No,
mean,
it's
it was
sticky
my
buns
nickname
here.
in high school, but
your sticky buns?
yeah.
But it was regional.
No, we have sticky buns here.
Yeah.
Like some
Yeah,
areas they call it sticky buns, other areas it's cinnamon buns, and other areas they mean two different things, but they're basically the same.
Oh, so Clay starts talking to Kiki in the store, and he's like, "Well, I wouldn't cater my friend's wedding." And then Kiki gets all bitchy and stuff, and he's like, "No, I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying I wouldn't cater my friend's wedding because I actually want to go and enjoy the wedding."
Right.
And he's like, "If you're catering the wedding, you're working, and you're not going to have a chance to enjoy the wedding."
Do you know that my
And
I was
and
What was
I
that?
was gonna
Kurt?
say I had a similar situation. Where did Les go?
He went to go have some sticky buns.
I'm here.
I was
I'm going to go have
asked.
sticky buns.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I was asked to go to my class, like high school class reunion, and the woman who's the class president said, "Could you do a sketch with me?" I'm like, "That's work. I don't want to do that."
No.
What'd you say? No?
Les said no.
No, it's true. And then people like offended when you say no.
I think
And then you say no.
I think in that scenario, it's okay to say no
And
unless
it's like
everyone is doing something for this thing.
No, not everybody's doing it. And I thought, well, I don't have the time to do such a thing. Plus, plus I used to always have to. I always would do something around work, so I've had to learn like I can actually do something and enjoy myself. It doesn't have to be like work related.
Right.
I mean,
Like I would only I would travel
like-
and do a show. I'd have to have a show set up. I was like, no, you can actually travel and enjoy yourself.
I mean, I refused to do a sketch, and that's
Right.
why I wasn't on the SNL 50th.
See?
I wasn't asked to be, but I just refused to do it.
Well, see, you can't have.
But isn't
you
it
have to
crazy
learn
how
to
people
negotiate.
just think that you should be willing though? You should be willing to get up on stage and do shit. It's like I don't ask you to come and do my taxes in the middle of a party.
I think there's a little bit of that. I think in this scenario, it's also a little bit of like, what are you trying to hold on to that you're trying to do that in this environment now?
What are you talking about?
The sketch at the reunion.
Oh, okay.
Like, we're just here to like meet up and have fun. Like, why are you trying to like? We're doing sketch comedy, just us. What?
Oh,
Why?
I think they've got a bunch of stuff planned at this reunion, but we'll see.
Oh, when is your reunion?
I never went to one before, and it's next week. I am going to go.
Oh, are you going?
I'm going. I've never gone. So some of these people I've not seen in.
So that's why you haven't been eating cake lately.
Oh, stop!
Is this
I had cake.
is this many years?
Yes.
Okay. I held it up to the camera.
Yes. A gentleman.
That's an
never
odd
says
year to
his
have a
age.
reunion for.
Well, they didn't have one, I believe, the COVID year.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's been some
Oh, that
years.
makes sense. Well, like I only know of one year where they had one for my school. And it was
did
like
you
an
go?
odd, it was like a 15 or something like that. They did it. And I
Did
couldn't
you
go.
go?
No.
No, you couldn't go. Okay.
I'm not traveling across the country to go sit in like a VFW hall. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah, I decided
Kurt,
to go. Yes.
Maybe you'll go to the reunion and make a lady friend.
I'm open to all possibilities. So
Oh.
we'll see.
From high school, like an old lady friend.
Well, why wouldn't I be
I
open
think
to?
I think Kurt's saying that he might be open to other things.
Oh,
Kurt.
Whoa.
That's
What
what
are we
you
talking about
said.
now?
You
What's
were
that?
heavily implying that you would be by that night.
No, I did not. Did not. Jesus.
But going to your class reunion is the best when like you see who got all like fat and ugly, and like
I was.
when you see like the person who like see I'm bad.
You are.
Back
You did?
when I was much younger, I would say yes. And now I'm comfortable going into that environment with those people, but we're all on social media. I see them now, and I already know it,
Yeah.
so I don't need to pay money to fly across the country to see it.
I was going to tell those people that I have a podcast. Now they're going to listen to this, and
Go ahead.
well, anyway.
No, tell them.
They're not getting
I
that
will.
sketch from you. They may as well get this.
Yeah, say
Right.
listen, there's hours and hours of entertainment you can listen to.
Right.
I'll tell them.
I feel like this is what you should do. At your reunion, if they like allow any kind of period where like anyone could get up on stage and say some words, I think you should just get up on stage, walk, if there's like a TV monitor, walk over to the TV, put on Mama's Family, go to the mic and say, "Have at it, bitches," and then just walk off.
Well, I may have the opportunity to do that because I did concede. I did agree to be. I did agree to be the relief MC.
When next week?
Yes. This woman, the woman is all right.
The relief MC.
I would like to have a word with the person planning this to let them know that I promise you, the people that are there do not want to hear nonstop talking to the point where the MC is going to need a break so that another MC can take the stage. I promise you, nobody wants that.
All right.
And what kind of wuss can't like be on a stage for 2 hours and need it?
It's 4 hours. This thing is 4 hours long.
Wait, so there's going to be like a show for 4 hours?
This thing is from 6 to 10. I think there's video. They've been gathering hours of video and pictures, and
this is longer than the fucking Oscars,
right? Seriously, like longer than Gone with the Wind.
I can stay home and watch The Brutalist because that's going to be the same thing as. No, I shouldn't say that. It's big. Yeah, The Brutalist had a couple scenes in it that we're not going to be seeing at the reunion. But
I mean, it could have used Adrian Brody in some sketch comedy. That's what it could have used.
Right.
He could do that Jamaican character they did on SNL. The reason why he's no longer allowed on SNL anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah. There's not going to need there's no need for a relief MC.
I think there's nonstop music. There's video. There are pictures. There's got to be. I don't even know what is beyond that.
Jeez,
an escape room.
Escape room.
Follow the cue of Joe Pesci winning his Academy Award. Just get up there, short and sweet. It is my privilege. Thank you. Move on.
Yeah, there's no escape room that I know of. All right.
Well, not yet.
Anyway, that'll be next week, so maybe I'll report back on that, but maybe not.
Okay, so Kiki's a loser because then she finds out that like the oven that she had access to is broken.
Yeah.
I want to know, in defense of Kiki, was this the venue where they're having the reception?
I don't know, just some random oven.
Like, how is she just going to have a random oven available right there? It had to have been the venue. And so how fucked up is it that the venue made it Kiki's problem?
I'd blame Kiki.
I mean, she's a dumbass, but this one's not on her.
You could convince her, though.
Yeah.
So then Angie calls the foster care place.
You know, Angie could have called the fucking oven repairman.
I guess Angie. I guess there's a teenager in these shows too, because the foster care person was like, "How's Rory?"
He's in the montage at the end, and he's at the wedding.
This is why I was confused.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some kids.
Actual teenagers in this movie. Yeah.
All right.
So then Angie explains to the foster care lady, Cynthia, that, Jen is getting married. She's having some issues reconciling her past. She's looking for her father, Theo Whitaker. And then we find out.
Would HIPAA laws be in here, or any kind of privacy, confidentiality?
No. Actually, this is something I know about. After Jen is over 18.
Okay.
So once the kid's over 18 in the foster care system, their file is open. And especially since, like, you couldn't tell some random stranger this stuff. Angie was the guardian. So that's why she could tell Angie.
But Angie's not currently the guardian.
But
like, she could tell.
She's not currently the guardian because Jenna aged out. Like Jenna grew up and aged out.
Right, but she could tell Jenna because Jenna's the legal adult in this particular scenario now. Angie has no stake in this now legally.
Yeah, I think it's
But
fishy.
But then also, like, once a kid turns 18, their files open up.
No, I get that, but it's not
for
public
everybody.
information. Although I guess the little bit of cover here is all they have is a name. She doesn't have any contact info for this guy. She just has the name of the dad. So,
Yeah.
legal gray area.
So
Maybe I'll ask that
also-
lawyer I'm in contact with.
And the dad was a deadbeat dad because he stopped child support when she was 10.
Well, the situation with him is a little strange.
Yeah.
But we'll be getting to that.
I think there's something up with the mom.
She's dead.
Well, we know she's dead. But I think I don't think he cut off child support. I think the child support ended because the mom like went crazy or something, and like cut him out because he didn't know anything about the mom being sick. Didn't know anything about Jenna going into foster care after the mom died. He knew none of this, so like he was out of the loop.
How would you not know this stuff though?
Well, if you don't know, if you're not seeing your kid,
If you're cut out of
know.
your kid's life,
Okay. I mean, I think you would hear what happened to your wife.
No, but she disappeared.
All right. I have to go along with this.
So
he probably lost interest, like most of the people watching this movie did.
yeah. Oh, and then the caseworker's like, "Oh, by the way, how's Kiki?" And Angie's like, "Oh, you know Kiki." So then we cut to Kiki. She gets a phone call from Jenna. Jenna's like, "Where are you?" And we find out that Kiki forgot about their spa day.
Which were two ladies on the floor.
Yeah,
That's a spa day.
It wasn't a spa. It was like one of their living rooms, or is it living's room? Living rooms, and they had like something in balloons on the wall, and they had like they were doing their nails, but also had a bowl of popcorn between them. Which I don't know that you want to be doing your nails while you're eating popcorn.
No. You get like a kernel underneath your nail.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt.
Okay, so then what was the next part?
I'm looking. I got lost. Oh, spa
Didn't
day.
they
I
say
see.
Kiki? Because then they say, "Kiki, I guess, do you need help?"
Well, we
Yeah.
Then what
missed
happened?
a very important deal where Angie went to go see the deadbeat dad.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, we're
First,
not?
Oh, we're not
Okay.
there yet.
First, Kiki calls Clay, and they meet at a coffee shop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she says things are falling apart. And Corky, no, I guess I don't know
Life
what I
goes
wrote.
on.
Yeah.
Corky, cooking is what she knows, she
Oh,
said.
okay.
And she explained that she grew up in the foster care system, and she didn't have much to give back, but she could cook. So that's good. And then they look at the menu, and she's thinking at the timing. Now I enjoy cooking, and one of the things I enjoy cooking is the timing element of it.
How so?
Because you've got to cook. If you're cooking a meal and there are 4 parts of the meal, there's like with the green beans and this. You're cooking, and you've got to time everything out at a certain time so everything comes out at the same time.
And you enjoy that aspect of it.
For whatever reason, I enjoy that figuring out all that. Like,
I
'cause you have
can
to
see
kinda
it
figure that
being
on the spot, yeah.
rewarding at the end. That like, oh, okay, like I did all the math in my head right about this, but to me that's so stressful.
I like doing that.
I enjoy eating.
I mean, Kurt just described when to make the green beans, so I would cut out that step and save time.
When I make the zucchini chocolate cake, that would be good.
Well, I would take that recipe and I'd make, put in all the ingredients and you mix it up and you make the batter and you put in the shredded zucchini and you bake it at like probably 425 for 20 minutes, something like that. Then it comes out, you let it cool, and then the best place to cool it is in your trash can, where it belongs.
Look at germs.
Kiki's still
and
a
you
bitch.
can light it on fire to burn off any of the germs.
Kiki's still a bitch.
Oh yeah.
Because Disney offered to let her use his oven.
No, he does, but that wasn't why she turned it down though, because they were trying to figure out like where you've got to get the food, even if you get an oven, you've got to get it to the venue, and 20 minutes is death in terms of travel time for food once it's cooked.
Yeah, it'll be cold.
Yeah, especially for that many people.
They could have a cold meal, and then they won't have to worry about things.
Exactly.
Macaroni salad.
Steak tartare.
And those are the weddings that you go to Taco Bell on the way home.
Yeah.
Jeez. I guess you could do that.
So, like the worst wedding I've ever been to, Jason, you would have been livid. Because these people, these friends of John's, and they were having a vegan wedding, and they weren't even vegan.
What?
Yeah, they were having a vegan wedding, and they weren't even vegan.
Why?
And the food was only vegetables and mostly cauliflower. Every dish.
Were they trying to get their friends to turn on them? You've told us this story on the podcast before, too. This is in England, right?
Right. No, this was here in LA.
Oh, jeez.
This was in West LA.
Ugh.
And you know it's bad when the parents talk shit about the food. Their parents.
Why would you... If you're not... I get it if you're vegan, you're like, well, this is our day and we're paying for it, so we want this. But if you're not, wouldn't you recognize it like, hey, not everybody likes this kind of food?
Did they think other people were? I guess so, right?
They were trying to save money, but it's like, you can still save money and have good food.
Well, also, if you're buying a bunch of food that nobody likes, you're wasting your money.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Like if you were to make, say, some chocolate cake and put zucchini in it.
Right.
My friend, man, his first wedding, man, when they got to the desserts, explosion. There was an explosion, and then like this curtain opened, and it was this dreamland, this Willy Wonka, Yellow Brick Road of desserts. I've never seen anything like it before.
They knew their audience. They knew you were going to be there.
There was like a chocolate fountain. You could just put your head.
So were you like Augustus Gloop? Were you like when he was in the river?
I didn't even. There's only so much you can accomplish.
And how long did the caterer serve for child predator charges?
What?
It just seems like if that's your niche in catering, like there's some weird shit going on there.
Well, I don't know.
Now I'm thinking about Augustus Gloop drinking out of the chocolate river.
I don't know, but that was quite a feast that night.
Well, I have a friend though who has like he owns a gym, and every Christmas he has like a dessert party where it's kind of the same thing, and this gym is just full of dessert.
See, that's fun though, and I like the take on that because it's like, hey, you've worked hard all year. You've kind of earned to be able to treat yourself. Do it.
Fatten up.
And also, now you're a bunch of fat fucks, so you need to be back in here on January 1st. Brilliant marketing, too. In fact, the marketing email, like the subject line just needs to say, hey, fat fucks.
With a picture of them.
Yeah.
Surveillance
like surveillance video, yeah.
Of them like hoovering,
eating licorice.
Oh, so isn't this the part where Clay's like lecturing her and Kiki's like, he's like, well, you got to show up for the ceremony, idiot. You can't just cook and not show up at your sister's wedding.
Yeah, she's got a weird look on things. Like she's not going to go to the wedding. She's just going to cook.
No, she's delusional to think that she'll be able to make it to the wedding with no help.
Yeah,
even if you were hiring a catering company, there's going to be multiple people working for them to prep food for 100 people, prepping it, cooking it, and then serving it. That's all people.
She's the wait staff too. Like she's going to walk out and give people their meal.
I think she did mention something about the venue having staff, but that was like later in the movie. And again, if the venue has wait staff, the venue should be supplying the oven. And if the oven isn't working, then Jenna and Andrew need to sue those fuckers.
Right.
Well, it was a good point made earlier that this should have been taken care of a long time ago. And they should have identified that it wasn't reasonable that she was doing all this.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. That's very sweet of you, but you're going to need help with this. That's remarkably ridiculous.
Even if Jenna is a great cook, her food truck is a pizza truck. Like, in terms of just the sheer amount of prep that goes into that versus, you know, serving a sit-down meal for a wedding, it's a pretty big divide in time and effort.
Yeah.
Right.
Big jump.
Yeah.
So then Clay takes Kiki to his restaurant and shows her his kitchen.
Right.
To show that it takes a village.
He delegates. He doesn't do all the work.
And he's like, see, Kiki, this is what you should be doing. Then he invites her out for a tasting menu night.
Not a
at
date.
his friend's restaurant.
Yeah.
Female friend's restaurant.
Who's a bitch.
She's not.
No,
well,
she wasn't too bad.
Towards the end, I thought she was throwing shade, though.
She was at the end. I think in this earlier scene, it wasn't clear that she was throwing shade.
So then we cut back to Jenna, and she's talking to Angie, and she's asking Angie, you know, why did my father never look for me? Then Angie goes and Angie finds Theo, and she's like, Theo, you know, your daughter's getting married. That's why I came to look for you. And then that's where. And that's where we find out he didn't know that his wife died. He didn't know that she was in foster care. He didn't know any of that.
He didn't even know why he had two ladders in his garage.
Right. Two?
Yeah. There's like, clearly the set decorators are like, oh, I didn't know we were doing the garage scene today. Hey, do you grips have anything I can put in here? And two guys bring up ladders and they just like laid them against the wall.
Yeah, probably.
And then
his
I
hair
noticed
is perfectly done up too for garage work.
Yeah.
Right. I noticed a little spark between him and Angie. So I guess if there's another movie, him and Angie are gonna hook up.
Think?
Yeah.
Look, it confusing.
Oh,
that
so
was
then
bizarre for me.
He's
though,
gonna be.
because that was.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's Natalie from The Facts of Life, and you see her outside, and I've never seen Natalie outside before. So that
so you've never seen Palm Royale?
No, but you know what? Now that I think about it, wasn't there a Facts of Life movie where they went to Paris or something like that?
Yes,
there absolutely was.
Yeah, so I think I have seen that. Just re-entered my mind. I'm bringing that up at the reunion.
They had that, and the Family Ties had a movie where they went to England.
Yeah,
and nobody could figure out how to drive on the wrong side of the road except for Mallory.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember. I have a memory of that too. That's great.
Did Nick go with them?
No, I don't think Nick was involved. The little kid wasn't either.
I think this might have been before Nick, which would have been before Andy.
Well, I don't think Brian Bonza wasn't in it. No,
I don't think so.
Oh, so the dad was like, I don't want to meet her. And then Angie was like, well, I will leave my number in the mailbox just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't say it like that.
No. But she does want him to sample Edna's edibles, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Oh, man. I know.
And, you know, they were on the same channel as Mama's Family.
For a little bit, yeah.
And then Mama's Family was in syndication.
Yeah.
First run syndication.
Oh, so Kiki and Claire at the tasting place, and they're eating the tasting menu food, and it's really good. And then she's talking about her damn food truck again. And then
Let's see.
Oh well, he's talking
so
about how
Clay's like-
his parents wanted him to go to med school, so he tried out for. Like he keeps every time he's talking about the fact that he's cooking and stuff, he talks about it almost like a hindrance because he's not allowed to take chances in life, and it's like you chose this, dude. Like I don't know, you're playing a martyr here.
Yeah.
Right.
He must be cooking a lot of warm milk because he's sleepy a lot.
He is very sleepy.
Is that supposed to make you sleepy?
Well, you read this script.
But then we never see him working.
He's got heavy lids.
Yeah. He's smart. He has people working for him doing the work.
Yeah, and then he can go take a nap.
Then we have a little scene with Sherry and Evan, and Evan's telling Sherry that he doesn't feel like he fits in.
Who?
And Evan, Sherry's boyfriend, the black guy.
Oh yeah. They have a little scene. It's kind of random.
And
This
then-
scene.
And then she's like, "Well, they're gonna get to know you."
What?
And they already told her that they liked him anyway.
Yeah. Again, this is like this scene would have felt more fleshed out had we seen their movie.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, I have figured that one out. Okay.
So then, Kiki's talking about growing up with Angie, and then Clay got an idea. He's like, "Why don't we have a family style meal where everybody we'll just put the food on the table
Family
and everybody
style.
can just dig in."
Yeah.
Came alive.
Because she was
Okay.
talking about how like the foster kids, the past and present ones, they all still gather at Angie's Sunday supper. And this is actually a good idea.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Kiki's like, "I know what I'll do. I'll make tandoori chicken." And I do like tandoori chicken.
I do too. Although, is a wedding of 100 people the environment to try out Indian food as a cuisine?
True.
Aren't you supposed to like when you RSVP for the wedding? Don't you usually put like what you want? Like if you want like prime rib or you want fish.
Well, if this wedding had or the menu had been planned out months in advance like a normal wedding, then yeah, you get choices. But this one, you're gonna eat whatever slop they serve you.
you don't get any choice at all. Any slop?
They're
Maybe
eating
they could have-
tandoori chicken and chocolate zucchini bread.
Well, you say slop. Maybe they can just eat it out of like slop pits like the pigs. They are.
Easier to serve that way.
No, they're not. They're not pigs.
And then she
confusing this
figures
with
I
Animal
can make the tandoori chicken in my food truck.
Terrible. Well, I'm surprised
So
you could
then-
make anything in that food truck. It was so small. It looked like a wagon.
know.
Well, because it's a food truck. A food truck doesn't have a lot of room to cook, which is why I'm also like, how does she make pizzas in there? Like, are there food pizza trucks?
Yeah, I've been to one.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's a regular food truck though.
Oh, is hers like a mini, like a?
Hers is like a
It was
little
small.
food truck.
It was very tiny.
Okay.
So then Crystal the chef comes out, and then Clay is like, This is Kiki. She drives a food truck. And then Crystal was like, "Oh, that's cute. I'll come by there sometime." So yeah, this first time was not shady. Second time was shady.
All right.
I wonder if like it was going to be revealed in some version of the script that she and Clay used to date, which throws a
that's
little
what I
more
thought,
tension
too.
into their relationship. But like, you know, Kiki's a little bit jealous of Crystal. Crystal seems a little bit jealous of Kiki, but they never really get to the why other than just like all these characters are assholes or dicks.
You dick!
So then Kiki's making her tandoori. And then, of course, Clay's like, "Don't burn yourself out. Give yourself a 15-minute break." And what does she do on her 15-minute break? She makes latte.
Yeah. That's
So now she's
not relaxing or taking time away from the kitchen, really.
and all that caffeine. She's going to be climbing up the walls.
Yeah. Well, somebody needs to wake up because there certainly isn't going to be Clay.
Yeah, give some of that latte to. I think she did give some latte to him.
We drink a latte.
Clay needs to get some of the substance that Haley Joel Osment had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't advocate
So then,
I don't know what it was.
speed, but
Yeah.
so then they went to a food pantry.
amphetamines.
Yeah.
We don't advocate it.
No. But if it were on this set, Clay should be doing it.
Hey, speaking of food pantries, this is where they should be having the wedding, at this food pantry.
Yes.
And they got a big kitchen.
Yes, and like lots of place to sit. You've got all these foster kids that have been through the system. This would be like a nice way to give back.
Why not?
Right.
Let's go rewrite this.
Would it be a sin to save money?
So then Clay's whining about cooking school again.
Oh. Cooking school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I would enjoy cooking school?
So then they finish at the food pantry.
Okay.
And then they go to the rehearsal dinner.
Oh.
Clay's giving a toast. Then
there's a moment in this scene, by the way, or no, actually at the food pantry where Angie said something that leads us to believe that she's still looking for I'm not Angie. Kiki says something that leads us to believe that she's still looking for a name for her food truck. Her already up and running operational food truck business does not have a name.
Yeah.
And she doesn't need a mentor?
I'm not saying she doesn't need one. I'm saying she doesn't think she needs one. Because she's a dumbass.
So then everybody notices that Kiki's happy. And then Kiki says about Clay, and everyone's like, we already know that. So then Crystal comes out. And they're like, Crystal made all the food. And then Crystal then throws shade to Kiki.
Yeah.
What did she
about
say?
a food truck.
Oh. What did she say? I had it written down.
Something shady.
Something shady.
Yeah, when I was at this point in the movie, my internet kept cutting out, and I'd have to keep going back. And I know I missed some sort of beat where Crystal did say something bitchy, and I forget how I found out, but I read somewhere that she threw shade for real at Kiki at this point.
Hey, by the way, there were donuts at this rehearsal dinner, which I thought was strange.
Well, it's like a dessert.
Why?
It's on the morning.
You'd have a donut tree like they have in White Lotus. I've definitely seen they have the little cupcake towers at weddings. I think I've seen like a donut thing at a wedding too.
No, it's you can only have it in the morning.
No, that's not true. It's all in your head.
Etiquette.
So now Kiki's pissed. Kiki's pissed. But then Jenna's even more pissed because her dad shows up.
Well, Kiki leaves. She's so upset about this.
Yeah,
I don't even know what she's upset about. I wrote, what is happening?
She tells Clay, you didn't back me up.
Well, not yet.
I was trying to keep my eyes open.
Well, first, the dad shows up. Because what better place to introduce himself in her life but this rehearsal dinner?
Yeah, like he didn't want to introduce himself earlier when Angie gave him the chance. He's like, she doesn't want to see me now, but then chooses this moment to like change his mind.
He should have interrupted the wedding.
Like, yeah, the only thing that would have been worse is if, like, not only him interrupting the wedding, but like if he parachuted into it.
Right.
With like an air horn. Daddy's home!
Right. So Jenna's pissed, but then we cut to Kiki, and Kiki's a dumbass because Kiki still has to make all this food, and she sent her sous chef home because she was mad.
How about that Jenna's fiance was in on bringing the dad in?
Yeah. So he's like in the shit house too.
Not a big fan of this guy. He seems to, I don't know. Positive things were said about him earlier, but to me, he seems a bit spineless.
I think that in this scenario, he went to Angie for advice, and Angie is the one that roped in the dad. So I think Andrew's only guilty of like trying to do something to cheer up his fiance and trust that the foster mom, whom everyone adores, is going to know what the right thing is.
And Angie's like, I would never steer you wrong, Tootie.
Yeah, things are very difficult.
So
why does your impression of Natalie now sound like Edith Bunker?
Well, I don't know, Tootie. What do you think?
Archie!
I'm going to do an Archie Bunker impersonation on the spot. What are you doing? Oh, forget it. No,
Arch!
Yeah, I did have a pretty good Selena Gomez a couple months ago. That was pretty good.
I do remember you doing a good Selena Gomez.
Yes.
It wasn't bad. I don't know. Something's wrong with my mouth or something. I can't. It was kind of like, it was kind of like that. I'll work on that. This is creativity in motion.
Oh, so Clay tells tells Kiki, Jenna needs you, and then Clay takes over while Kiki goes to console Jenna.
So now Clay, who didn't want to cook at this wedding, is now in his tuxedo cooking at the wedding.
Yes.
I'm still on when the dad arrives. I missed this note. He says, I shouldn't have come. You think?
You should have said that to Jenna's mom, am I right?
Awesome.
So then Kiki tells Jenna, you actually had a good life, and your life would have been different if you wouldn't have found Angie. And then Jenna's like, you're right. I love my life.
But I could have had 2 ladders.
Yeah.
What if I wanted to go somewhere really high twice? Having 2 different experiences climbing up to the roof.
And now Jenna did say something that I did actually like, because Jenna's like, you know what? I will see my dad. She's like, it's probably not all going to be fixed today, but I'll at least see him. And I was like, well, that's cool, because normally in a Hallmark movie, they reunite and everything's fine.
Oh,
and the fact that she acknowledged, it's not going to be, it won't be perfect, but this is, a start.
Well, she really wants that ladder. Like,
and then,
like if she gets in with Theo, she is going to eventually inherit 2 ladders. Maybe there's more we don't even know about.
And perfect hair.
Yeah. She's already got that.
So then Kiki gives Jenna, I guess when Jenna was in high school, she wrote Mrs. Andrew Clarrington on like a paper or something, and Kiki got it and put it in a frame. So then we see Josh, the brother, and a woman is fixing his tie and flirting with him. So I guess that's probably the next movie too.
Yeah.
I think we already saw the movie already happened probably. And I was like, where are these people?
No, this is the newest one.
I think
the movie
this is
that
the
we
new
saw
one,
was the
yeah.
premiere.
Well, I don't want to see the Josh movie.
So would it be Josh's fifth
catty.
ingredient?
I don't want to see. That sounds very dramatic. I don't want to see the Josh movie.
So then Jenna is late for her wedding, and they're all looking for Jenna's dad. Then the dad shows up.
Not by parachute, by the way.
No.
Aw.
And he tells Jenna, right. He's like, your mom and I grew apart. Don't blame
me.
Don't blame yourself.
It's not my fault.
Yeah,
it's your fault.
They went and got this guy, night before, totally humiliates himself at this rehearsal dinner. And the wedding has started. They're all waiting at the altar. And somehow Angie's able to go get him in a not a suit, like a tuxedo for a wedding, get him dressed and get him to the venue.
He's at their beck and call.
Angie.
He's at their beck and call.
Yeah.
I mean, they just drive to his house and start honking the horn.
Well, they probably called Archie Bunker because he is a cab driver.
Is he?
Yeah.
True. Yes.
Get in the car, Edith. That's pretty good. There you go. See? Yeah, he's just, they just pull up, start beeping the horn. He puts his toe out. They say, no, get back in there and put on a suit. You're getting in the car. This guy, he's like those people that got kidnapped in that movie Room. Like, I'm surprised, you know? They ended up like in a van. The woman ended up like a van. He better be careful. I'm really worried about people these days. Well, bad decisions are being made.
When he's in his garage and bad people come for him, he could just climb higher and get away from them. But outside the house, game over.
Here's the problem. He climbs up to the roof on the ladder, pulls the ladder up. They got another ladder. They're going to get that ladder, go up there, go after him. Yeah. Now what's he going to do? They're stuck on the roof.
That is the flaw in his plan that he has not quite worked out the kinks in yet.
This guy, he's backed into a corner as far as I'm concerned.
But then he'll jump off of the roof and go,
oh, so he's like Elphaba.
Edith, I saw somebody fall off a roof. All right, I had it before.
George.
There's a witch.
So Kurt, now you're Weezie?
Yes.
Well, he's in the All in the Family cinematic universe.
George, I saw a white man falling off the roof.
I love how Kurt turns into Weezie.
Well, this is our very special who's the guy? Who is the 100-year-old guy?
What?
Norm Macdonald. No, who's the guy
Norman Lear?
Norman Lear.
Well, he's no longer with us.
Our special Norman Lear episode. Well, it's a tribute. It's an homage.
Yeah. Norman Lear. Wait, did you say Norm Macdonald?
He passed away as well.
Yes. Norman Bates. Anthony Perkins also.
So then Jenna asks Theo if he would walk her down the aisle with Angie.
What?
And
trust this man?
This is fucked up. I think this is really fucked up because she had asked Angie to walk her down the aisle. Angie has been a big part of her life. Dad, who she just met, who just came back into her life, now gets to share this big fucking moment with Angie. That was shitty to do to Angie.
Nice.
But then Angie says, well, I remember when Beverly Ann walked me down the aisle.
Did Natalie get married in Facts of Life?
Natalie? No, but Beverly Ann was there.
Yeah? Beverly Ann would have been there, yeah.
Or Cloris Leachman.
Yeah, she was Beverly Ann?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name was. George, you see who she's walking down the aisle with. She just
I do love that Weezie showed up.
She
on a different network.
It's all media. It all comes out in the wash.
So then they have they have the wedding. Then
which goes on too long. We don't want to. I don't want to watch a wedding.
And then Kiki thanks Clay.
Well, they're dragging out the wedding because they know that eventually they're gonna have to eat some fucking chocolate zucchini muffins,
right?
And some kind of chicken. Tasmanian chicken or something like that.
Tandoori,
right? No salmon. I clicked off. I checked off salmon on my invitation. What is this? That's zucchini chocolate.
Right. Or what if you're like, I have an allergy to chicken?
Well,
and then Kiki's like, well, this is all we have, so you eat it and like it.
Yeah. She needs to be the disciplinarian.
And then she thanks Clay, and then that's pretty much it, right?
Well there's a montage of scenes from the other movies we haven't seen.
And we don't want to.
And then outside, Kiki thanks the sous chef for coming back, the one she sent home. Clay comes out, says everyone wants to thank the chef. She thanks Clay, and then they declare their love for one another.
Really?
They haven't been on a single date. They haven't admitted that they even like each other, much less kissed yet. But they declare their love for each other and then kiss. The end.
And then they do it in a nearby car, and then undeclare their love for each other.
Well, and Theo's up there filming it on his ladder.
Right.
That's right. It's good thing he's got that. But he's balancing it like a
yeah. He's actually not on one. He's on two ladders at once, with like 1 foot on one and one on the other.
You can see now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I thought this movie was going to be good because it was about food, but it wasn't. Because we've had good luck with food movies lately.
Or a lack of food. I don't know.
Because like the Lemon Drop movie.
I thought there was potential that fourth ingredient could have like a magical quality to it, similar to the lemon drop, but this...
Plus, everyone is at their beck and call.
The
sushi,
It was too big of a cast of characters to get to know, to care about any of them.
Right.
Except for Angie.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Angie.
George, did you watch this shitty movie that was on? She's no longer with us, I guess, Weezie.
Well, Weezie, what do I say? Well, at least next week's a Lifetime week.
That's good.
Oh, and next week's Easter Sunday.
I thought that was this Sunday.
This Sunday.
I think it's this Sunday.
It's this Sunday.
It's this Sunday, yeah.
I wonder if they're going to have like Easter, like an Easter like killing movie or something on Lifetime.
Oh, no.
Like that.
I'm getting murdered over those egg prices, am I right?
Oh, yes.
like Killer Easter Bunny.
I was just reading this message.
Psycho Peeps.
Natalia Grace.
Back when I was working in radio, one of the stations I worked at was here in LA, Star 98.7. And before I worked there, one year on Easter, they like put one of their interns or whatever in an Easter bunny costume and like sent them out, and like they were giving away concert tickets to something. And it was the Ticket Bunny. It was like a cute idea. And it was so cute that the audience loved it, that the Ticket Bunny just became a year-round thing. That was one of my favorite things in radio, is that like the Ticket Bunny.
So it's no longer Easter. The Ticket Bunny
But
always.
It's just like random. It's like, it's the middle of June and the Ticket Bunny is out at like, some Vons or Albertsons giving away tickets to go see Dave Matthews Band.
Okay.
The Ticket Bunny.
I like that.
Well, if you want to see my Ticket Bunny, you can contact me on Instagram at Kirkendall or my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com. Jason.
If you are enjoying this podcast, and we hope that you are, if you, love hearing rants about chocolate zucchini muffins and climbing ladders and things, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It helps more people find the show. The more 5-star reviews we get, the more people know that we're here. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Lifetime of Hallmark podcast. You can find us on TikTok at Lifetime of Hallmark, and on Blue Sky TikTok is Lifetime of Hallmark Pod, and Blue Sky is Lifetime of Hallmark. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
Well, it was a pleasure celebrating my birthday with you guys. And I will be on a new episode of the Jason DeBray's The Shelf Shedding Movie Podcast. We're going to do, once I get around to it, we are going to do a Steven Spielberg show.
And how many movies will you need to watch for that, Kurt?
I think 4.
Okay, so that's 8-9 hours of your life. I think that Natalia Grace can watch a Lifetime or a Hallmark movie.
Well, we'll discuss that.
Okay.
We're not at a stalemate. Okay.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. So, in May, beginning May 14th through I think the 27th, I'm going to be doing my show, The Real Black Swan: Confessions of America's First Black Drag Queen, in Florida at the Orlando Fringe Festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
And for more information on that, you can go to orlandofringe.org.
Well, anyway, you guys have to agree this is Natalia Grace, because I just thought that I could always bring her over to the Jason Debray show. Of course, she would have to watch 6 movies with us. Natalia Grace, what do you think of Always with Richard Dreyfuss?
And Holly Hunter, right?
Yeah,
I saw that movie.
Audrey Hepburn had a role in that.
I think I saw that in the theater.
I've never seen it. Always.
So I guess that's it.
I guess so.
I think so. We covered a lot.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
We left a lot of sort of cliffhangers too. People can be tuned into future episodes to see what happens. All these things.
Right.
I just picture somebody getting into the podcast and like jumping around, and they land on me just screaming, "Hey, fat fucks!"
Well, all right. I guess that's it. So I'll talk to you all next week. Oh! I forgot to say my birthday's next week.
Oh!
I know, right?
We'll celebrate that.
Now I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.